The whole being human in life thing is in one way so big. There's this and that to infinity. And yet, of course, as we all know, there's also a profound simplicity. It's almost like saying this experience is both very complex and very simple. It's not one or the other, it's both. And in the human journey itself, what I see is definitely a coin with two sides. On one side, there is this, what we'll call a spiritual discovery, where all is well. I'm not missing anything. Life is a gift. There's nothing real to fear. Only God is real. And then on the other side of the coin is the undeniable experience of a human that seems to be separate from it all. A human that experiences what seems to be the opposite of the other side of the coin, where there's lots to be afraid of, where there's lots that seems like it's not well. And what I see as the fundamental journey is not going from the human to the spiritual, but it's discovering a space that allows both sides to exist in equality. Where there is this agreement that says, yes, even though there's nothing real to fear, I will be scared often. Yes, even though nothing is really personal, I will be determined to take things personally. And yes, even though there is a profound sense of calm, always and forever, I will have many moments where that is not seen. And for me, this is what spiritual pointers have been attempting to make obvious, is that the goal is not for you to so much become spiritual, but it's to see the foundation in which you are playing, the landscape, which can kind of be said as, yes, there is nothing real to fear, therefore your fear is totally fine. Yes, there's nothing to worry about, so I won't worry about your worry. The spiritual landscape is a profound extension of acceptance and freedom for you to have your human experience. And you know what? That human experience is hard. I could say sometimes, but if we get honest, most times. And furthermore, I would say intentionally so. It's supposed to be hard. And on that journey of difficulty, with your heart open to the other side that is the spiritual landscape, you will at moments touch upon a beautiful calm and remember what it's all about. But that doesn't mean it's going to remove you from the reality of being human. There's something beautiful that happens. It's quite magical when we come to terms with a reality or a truth that this is supposed to be hard. Do you see this? That when something's hard or difficult and you think it's not supposed to be, you turn and run. And has there ever been anything worthwhile in your life that was not built upon something that was difficult? Relationships are such an obvious example of this. In one way, there's the sincerity of desire that says, I want a beautiful relationship. Guess what? That's hard. It's going to require you to be honest, share what you fear, take the risk of being left behind. And we know this, don't we? Don't you see that the hard thing is honesty? And how often, playfully, do we avoid that honesty? Because we want the beautiful thing, and we think the hard thing is in the way of the beautiful thing. And so we avoid the hard thing. Isn't it so obvious that the real path is supposed to be hard? And why? And there's 1,000 different ways to say this, but let me be playfully blunt about it. There's so much bullshit inside of us. There's so much self-deception where we lie to ourselves, where we rationalize our way out of being honest. And what is that? And this is something I've said 1,000 times. It's us in some way wanting to be accepted by the world or others. And the only way to do that is to reject ourselves. Do you see this? I want you to accept me, therefore I cannot be honest. It's dangerous to be honest. Really. That's why it's hard. Furthermore, it's dangerous to be deeply honest with yourself. And it's hard. Because just like in a relationship, to be honest, you have to let go. You have to surrender to a vast unknown where everything you're holding on to could be destroyed. Everything you're pretending to be could be exposed. That's hard. Being honest with yourself, it's like and I'm just speaking from experience and using my own words here, but it's like being so honest with yourself, you become disgusted with yourself. Like, holy shit, that's how I really am? That's what I do? I hide. I lie to myself. I pretend because I'm scared of what other people think. I want others to think a certain way about me so that I can keep hiding. I don't shine my light in the world because I'm afraid of what people will think. I don't learn and grow something new because I'm afraid of failing. I don't focus because focus is hard. And so I hide behind some comfort and distraction. Really? That's what you do? That's your life? All ran by a fear that on the other side of the coin shows me it's not really there? What are you doing? And that what are you doing contains so much love, which of course is where honesty comes from. What are you doing? And in one way, what we find out, again, at least for me, is I'm running away from something that's hard, something that's uncertain. Which, you know, in a way points to where I'm confused about the point and purpose of being human. And that is the assumption that this is about outcome, that it's about where I'm going, what I get in return, rather than realizing, holy shit, this is about me coming back to me. This is about rediscovering the sovereign reality of what I really am, the one that doesn't have to hide. And that is not only a journey, but a battle. A battle that is hard. Again, whether it's a relationship, whether it's building a business, whether it's raising kids, it's all the same. It's not about the outcome. It's about what you're becoming in the process. And sometimes I don't like the word becoming, but it's appropriate here. Because you're not becoming something new. You're undressing layers of bullshit. You're returning. And that's hard. And so, yeah, if you think your life is a mess, maybe that's a good thing. If you're mad at yourself, maybe that's appropriate. Because what are you doing? In one way, you're recognizing I am not living up to a standard that honors what I value. I'm not being honest. And to not know if you're really being honest with yourself is a great place to start. That's why I started out where I started. It's so big. It's so complex. There's so much bullshit. It's confusing. And that's okay. Most people don't even ask the question. You see, there's that opening of the heart that says, I really want to see, right? That sincerity of seeking what's true. And gosh, this is so real. Like in one way, these are silly words, but the common human, the seeking is for an outcome, right? I want to get something. And then there's this shift that seeks what's really true. What's really true here? And what do you find? I don't fucking know. Because we're looking in so much noise. But also, that element of the human that includes the mind and thinking is part of the journey of finding our way there, but it's also full of bullshit. Which is why the stillness to even ask the question is important. And acknowledge, I don't know. Because then sometimes it hits you hard. Oh, I see. And then sometimes when you do see and it becomes obvious, later on, you find out it's not that, it's something deeper. So it's not like we're going to find something that's static, some sentence that will forever be true. It really happens behind the scenes where the eyes can't go. We can say it's a felt sense, an intuitive understanding, whatever. But so often we recognize something's off here. Something needs to change. This isn't right. This isn't healthy. And just acknowledging that it's felt, right? We sense it, we know it, it's there. Even if it's delusional, doesn't matter, it's there. And again, that points to the tendency to over spiritualize these things. Just say, oh, all is well. Yeah, all is well. So it's okay to feel like shit if you feel like shit. Nothing needs to change. Yeah, nothing needs to change about you thinking something needs to change. It's okay. It's allowed. And in a space where all is allowed, the thing you would do is be radically honest about what's going on. And so, yeah, sometimes there's a space of calm and everything's wonderful. And other times it'll flip and say, it's time to grow. Some people are small step takers. Some people are leap takers. Some are both at different times in different seasons. But I think it's helpful to understand what this journey is really about. Again, it brings a bit of clarity and reduces a little bit of noise, where it's like, oh, this is all about honesty. This isn't about me getting some prize in the world. This is about me saying the thing I'm so scared to say. Doing the thing I'm scared to do, but I also see that I really wish I could do it. But it's hard. And you see this even in a worldly way. I mean, my goodness. Nobody has ever created anything of meaningful impact or value without going way beyond their comfort zone, without experiencing 10,000 rejections. Please see that. That's so important. that fear of it not working or the fear of people saying no. If we listen to that, then we just don't do anything. We don't move. This is a silly example, but it reminds me when I was much younger and working in the job world, I had a sales job. And there was this reframe that essentially said, in order for you to get one yes, you need to collect 100 no's. So every time you get a no, you're making your way towards a yes. So your job is not to go out there and get one yes, it's to collect 100 no's as fast as possible. You see the reframe there? Rather than, I want you to go out and get a sale, then those 100 no's are torturous. And then, again, these are silly worldly examples, not meant to be concrete, but to just point. But look at a professional athlete and someone who enjoys the sport. You see the difference? Right? For someone who enjoys the sport, they play on the weekend. And for the professional, it's their whole life. There's this element of devotion involved where it's recognized, this is why I'm here. This is the only thing that matters. Even if it's for a season, this is the only thing that matters right now. And the one has to decide for that. It's not that it's given to you. You decide because it aligns with something deeply sincere. You know, in some way, in my own journey, it reminds me of working at a job and just, doing the classic job thing. You're doing work that you're totally not interested in. And I walk outside on the back steps and just start crying. This cannot be my life. I refuse this. This is not what my heart is here to experience. Something in me begging for a radical shift. And my God, that shift, what a disaster that was. We've got so many stories to tell about just epic failures in the process. But what was happening the whole time is I was learning. And even though, my goodness, even though I've experienced that flavor of success for that season in my life, I still fall back into the same bullshit and stop playing the game. Start hiding again. Start waiting for a miracle. Secretly hoping I just get lucky. Why? Because I see the work in front of me and it's hard. And you know what? Honestly, there's a part of me that thinks I have an infection of laziness that's worse than every other human on the planet. Right? Like, I have a secret disadvantage that's worse than most people. How easily I get distracted, how easily I abandon my plans. Because things get hard. how much I can lie to myself just so that I can find comfort and avoid the hard things. And it's disgusting, but luckily it's playfully disgusting. We are actually capable of so much more. And I think that would be interesting, and maybe this is one of those Easter eggs we find after we die where we look back and laugh. Oh my God, I had no idea. There was so much light in there that wanted to be shared. And even at the end, there's no judgment. It's just learning. And then in the end, what do you say? Can I go back? Can I try it again? What's the invitation here? In one regard, it's to embrace the whole damn thing. But on the other side, there's a call to stand up and acknowledge what's deeply honest about the life you truly want to live. If that's a beautiful relationship, if that's a business, which is really a way to shine your light in the world, to acknowledge that and realize, yeah, this is going to be hard. And so what am I going to do? I'm going to make space for it. I'm going to remove the distractions. I'm going to delete Candy Crush from my phone and all other apps. Because my God, I am a Candy Crush expert. It's embarrassing. I can watch Netflix and play Candy Crush. And everything disappears. It's so relaxing. But I can be honest and say, yeah, I'm hiding. So I can look at those things, remove them from my life. Or if anything, make them more difficult. And, again, flipping to the first side of the coin that is spiritual in nature, there is support there. Like if you make space for what's deeply honest, do you not think the angels come rushing in to support you? But in a way, you have to show up. Don't think that they're going to make it easier, but they're going to be there. And maybe in a more grounded way, it's like saying, but I'm not inspired. Are you making space to be inspired? Are you sitting there empty, available? Or are you not inspired, so I'm going to go get distracted? And in a practical way, even with relationships or business or whatever, there is a building process. There is structure. There is step 1, 2, 3. And you have to be available to build those steps. Like, for example, if you want to build a house, you don't just get to start building whatever you think you want to start building. You have to focus and build the foundation first. Or if anything, you have to focus and build the vision, know what it's going to look like. And then when you know what it's going to look like, you start to understand what part you need to start building. And again, this is hard. Sure, maybe it's easier for some, but in my experience, it's hard. And what helps me is to write it down. Just get brutally honest with myself in written form. And then craft out a vision of what I think is realistically possible if I was willing to do the hard thing. And then I'll work hard, and then I'll fail, and then I'll throw a pity party. And then I'll learn and remember, oh yeah, this is what it is. Right? Isn't that funny? It's like you fail and you throw a pity party until you realize you're supposed to fail. This is part of it. So what do? You just keep going. It's like in a relationship, and failing in your relationship in the way that you lost your shit or you said some hurtful things or whatever. You can throw a pity party and bail in some way, or you can just own up, which is like being really honest about what's going on in your heart. Then you keep going. And there's depth that's created there. This is how we get stronger, through facing the resistance. Choose your battle. What are you here to fight for? Playfully. And be super grateful that you even have the opportunity.